everybody, and welcome back to Both Sides Book Club. You're with Catie and Debbie.
Hi.
And we are on episode number 10, where we are discussing a romance where love is in the air. Ooh, love is in the air. We are discussing The Sight of You by Holly Miller.
Okay, now this was my pick. So if you haven't had a chance to read it yet, yes, it is a romance. It's the love story between Joel and Callie. Now, Joel has a very unusual gift. Ever since he was a child, he's had dreams about the people that he loves, and what he dreams always comes true, which sometimes can be a good thing, but sometimes it can be quite tragic because he dreams about when the people he loves are going to die. So Callie and Joel are star-crossed lovers, and it's sad, but it's also life-affirming.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And I just loved it.
Yeah. So we haven't been reading I don't think we've read a romance yet, have
we haven't.
And I feel like some of the topics we've been doing of late have been quite meaty.
Quite heavy.
Quite heavy.
Yeah.
So tell me, why did you pick a romance? And do you normally like romances?
No, I don't. I picked it because I thought, let's do something a little bit different. We haven't done a romance before, and it's certainly a really easy book to read. Whereas some of our other ones have been, a little bit heavier. But no, I don't like romances. So for me, it's quite unusual to choose a romance.
Yeah.
But I just loved this book. I think that I could probably count on the fingers of one hand the number of romances that have kind of like stayed with me for years, and you guys have probably read many of them yourselves. So there was Me Before You by Jojo Moyes, and The Time Traveller's Wife by Audrey Niffenegger, that came out quite a few years ago, but you may have read it. Or One Day by David Nichols. And I guess the thing that I have liked about all of them is that all of them have been star-crossed lovers. So it's never been kind of plain sailing. So you never quite know, will they, won't they get it together? Will this last? What's going to happen?
You like the chase a bit?
Not necessarily the chase, but the fact that it's not plain sailing, that you never quite know if they're going to manage to stay together.
I like romances. I feel like I don't like overly soppy romances, but I definitely...
So what's a soppy romance?
Just where it's kind of really stereotypical and obvious. I mean, I would say like teenage romances are often like, I would say they're soppy because they're just like, that was bound to happen.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't know, I like romances that have interesting characters in them, or like interesting. For example, I really liked The Rosie Project.
Yeah.
Because Ron, I think his name's Ron, the main character. He is a little bit on the spectrum, so his character development's really interesting when he falls in love with Rosie. So I really enjoyed that.
And she was an unusual character,
so
not stereotypical.
Yeah, so I kind of like romances where they're like, not like you where they're star-crossed, but more just that there's interesting elements to their personalities and they come together. And I kind of found that in this book, it had that similar theme of very interesting, but also very real life characters. I think I don't like, what I'm trying to say is I don't like overly dramatized romances. I just kind of like them when they're authentic and relatable.
And I think that actually was, was one of the great strengths of this book, is that the characters were so likable and so realistic, is that, you didn't feel as though they were some with, some sort of stereotypes,
no,
did you?
Like they were your friends.
They're your friends or your next door neighbours.
Yeah, or you could have been them easily.
Totally.
Like it was very, and I think that was particularly through the dialogue. The dialogue was very natural, and the internal monologues that they were both having were very like relatable and understandable. Like you can understand the way they're thinking and rationalizing things. You know?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you told me that you love the singing in the shower because you sing in the shower.
Yes, I was like, Callie, my girl, you know what's up.
Yeah,
but I think like every book, there's some sort of major theme or catalyst or whatever. And this the topic in this book was basically, if you knew when you were going to die, would you want to know? And I'd love to unpack that a little bit. I mean,
sure.
Would you want to know?
I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, it was actually one of the questions that we asked the author
Holly.
Yeah. Holly said she was very firmly on the side of not wanting to know, that it would be like having a death knell hanging over you if you were counting down the days and the minutes to when you wanted to know. But I can kind of see the opposite side too, that I'm quite, as you know, I'm quite organised. Yeah. And you are too. Is that we like to plan ahead and have some kind of structure. So in some ways, I guess knowing that you had a finite amount of time means you could pack more in the meantime and not waste time. But would I want to know? I don't think I would actually.
Really?
No, I don't think I would want to know.
I definitely would.
Would you? Why?
Yeah. I think it maybe depends if you're chronically ill or you're in a hospital when you're like debilitated in some way. I think maybe it's probably better not to know because then you don't have to go. Like, for example, if you knew you were going to die instantly in a month's time, right?
Yeah.
You didn't have any disruptions to your normal day life besides that, right? Then I would definitely want to know. But if I was very sick and I knew that I was going to get worse, then I think I probably wouldn't want to know because I wouldn't want to know what was coming ahead.
I would actually argue the opposite.
Oh, what? Really?
Hopefully, I'm never in that situation, and neither are you.
And touch wood, none of you guys are.
None of you guys either. But if you're terminally ill and you have been given a death sentence by your doctors and said, you have X number of amount of time to live, I think I would want to know then.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. So I do.
So you could plan.
Yeah, so that I could plan and I could make sure I'd say goodbye to everyone and put things in place. So actually, I guess I'm contradicting myself, aren't I?
A little bit.
I am. No, I am. No, I realise. As we're talking, I'm realising I'm talking myself.
A little bit.
I'm talking myself around. Yeah,
I would definitely want to know. Like, if I was debilitated, then I think I wouldn't want to know because I would just want to be like seizing every single moment. But if I were, but also if I knew that I would want to seize every moment, but also I wouldn't, if I knew when I was going to die, I feel like I would be making more decisions without the guilt of the unknown. I don't know how to explain that. It's like, I would want to do all the things I would want to do, but because I knew that I had time up my sleeve or whatever, then I wouldn't feel so guilty if I did want to watch a movie or something. Whereas if I didn't know, I would feel like, if someone told me they know when I think it's different. If someone tells you they know when you're going to die, then I wouldn't be able to deal with that. I would want to know.
Yeah.
But also I think it's so impossible to, like, their relationship, I got really, really frustrated with their relationship.
Did you?
Joel and Callie. Because so much of me just wanted them to work because they were just so perfect for each other.
Yeah.
And I just got really frustrated that something so little but also so huge was what tore them apart. And it's just like Joel's just in such an impossible position. Like, how could you possibly be with somebody and know when they're going to die, but yet they don't want to know? Like, you wouldn't be able to hide it. It's impossible.
No, you wouldn't. But I also do understand. I mean, it's just that impossible dilemma, isn't it?
Yeah.
I absolutely understand Callie not wanting to know. You can't blame her for not wanting to know.
I know, but the romantic in me was just kind of like, come on, Callie, like, isn't Joel worth you just knowing? Like, is it really that bad to not to choose to know, like, for Joel's sake?
But it would have changed their relationship.
Yeah, but don't you reckon it would have brought them together closer? Because then they were like, okay, this is how much time we have left together. Let's just do it all.
I don't know. I
reckon, because it's like, if there's the two of you and you know, then you would literally go, why are we saving up to go away? Let's go right now. Whereas I reckon Joel would be feeling that internally. He'd be going, we only have, 8 years or 6?
8 years,
8 years.
8 years, yeah.
So internally he'd be going, I want to do everything. And she would be like, she doesn't know, so she doesn't really care as much. I wouldn't necessarily say Callie, she had a beautiful life after Joel with her other partner, but I wouldn't necessarily say she jam-packed her life full of
Yeah, but it's not everyone's choice to jam pack.
I know. I just would jam pack. I would be skydiving, all these things.
Yeah, see, you're a jam packer,
which is why I would want to know.
Yeah. Whereas I don't. I think there are a few things that Callie wanted to do. She wanted to have children. She wanted that. To have she wanted her career. She wanted to do those things, but basically carry on living her life. She didn't actually want to change her life. And if you're not Callie,
I know, but I just got frustrated because sorry everyone, I just did a little burp, but a bit gross, but oh well, let's go back into it.
Really?
Yes, I'm sorry, it's only natural, we're drinking bubbly water, so sorry for everybody listening, we had a momentary disruption. So I think the other thing, with the book as well, is the idea of these prophetic dreams, and do we believe that can happen?
Well, it's that whole concept of magical realism, isn't it?
Yeah.
The Time Traveler's Wife, which I mentioned earlier. Again, if you guys haven't read it, the main character in that basically slips out of time and travels either forwards or backwards, and each time he meets, I actually can't remember what the girl is called in. But so their relationship in fact spans 60 years because he keeps slipping into and out of their lives. So that kind of thing I think took a bigger amount of you had to suspend your disbelief, I think, a bit more than you did
with this one.
With Joel. It depends on, I guess, if you believe in psychics and prophecy and things.
Well, I feel like I definitely believe in intuition, and I feel like I definitely believe in deja vu.
Yeah.
And that there's probably varying degrees of deja vu. That, and I don't know whether, I believe that you can also dream about something and then self-manifest it in many ways as well, that you might have a dream that you've done something and then you can, I feel like I believe in that you can self-manifest whatever you put your mind to. So if it's in a dream, then perhaps that could happen. So I like to believe in
but what about dreaming about other people?
Yeah, I feel like that's no different. No different. I believe in prophetic dreams. I think that, why not? So often, I don't know, for so often there's so many times where I'll call you and we both have had the same thought about something.
Yeah, sure.
And we, and that's got to be something more than just intuition. Or there was once my partner Jay was away on an adventure and he really injured himself in Norway, and he had only a satellite phone. Yeah. And I was told that if I get a call on a satellite phone that something wrong has happened. Yeah. And the night before that happened, myself, his dad and his sister all had a fear that something had happened to Jay, and then I got a satellite phone call the next morning.
Yeah.
So like that, and that's got to be more than just intuition. Like that, I feel like there is some sort of level of connection that perhaps we're just
some sort of energy.
Yeah, without being too like overtly hippie or delving into whatever. But I definitely think we have the ability to connect in so many different ways. So that's why I felt like the prophetic dreaming in this wasn't so imaginary, because I felt like it could, like I felt like it wasn't too astray. That, I mean, perhaps that it's potentially possible. Yeah, like I felt happy just to go along with it, because I thought, oh well, you know, maybe he's just really switched on or whatever. And also likewise, I feel like nobody really cared in the book about it. Like that.
In what way?
Like his sister and stuff, or was like, oh, I had a feeling that you must have some sort of like.
But that wasn't his that wasn't Joel's early experience. I mean, that's why he Joel, for again, if you guys haven't read the book yet, for a long time, Joel wouldn't tell anyone that he was having the dreams, because when he did try to tell someone, when he was a doctor, when he was a student, basically he was dismissed as, you know, as a joke or suggesting that he was mentally ill in some sort of way. Basically, they didn't believe him. So he was very reluctant to share.
Yeah, but I mean, even though, like that for sure, but I mean, like nobody really super poked fun at him, like in a you've got weird special power. Like, I don't know, I just feel like it wasn't too far off the sphere of what could be reality, that it was easy to accept. So let's talk about Joel.
Okay. I liked Joel.
Did you?
I really liked Joel.
Yeah.
I thought he was funny. I loved his sense of humour. I liked the fact that he was a vet. You know, again, kind of, I guess, in your stereotypical romance, then you have doctors, don't you? You kind of have doctors, lawyers, or journalists, lawyers, or multimillionaires, or
50 Shades of Grey.
I know, that's what I was thinking. It's not nothing like that. But
what you mean? There's nothing like 50 Shades of Grey, this book.
I don't think there's any mention of a great eye. At all. Yeah, right. At all. I think we're okay. I think we're fine.
But you like Joel.
Yeah, I did. So he made me laugh, and I really warmed to him. Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, I liked him. I mean, like I said, he just felt like a friend. I think particularly, actually, it just came to me now. I think the way that Holly the writer wrote about his relationship with Melissa too, I felt was very, you see that sort of relationship.
Realistic?
Yeah, you see that sort of relationship
benefits
all the time. Yeah. And you can kind of see that Melissa likes him a little bit more than she's leading on. Yeah. And like, I just felt like all of Joel's interactions were very real and honest. So I really liked him. And I liked how he was quite upfront with Callie as well. I kind of liked that he just said it how it is. And also, how cute is it that he went to a doorstep with a little note and everything? I was like, oh, that's so cute. I really liked them. Like I said, I just kind of got a bit frustrated at him, because I just was like, oh, like, I know you're trying to do the right thing by letting Callie do her life, but like, but can't you just deep down, like, just figure it out?
But it was a pattern for him, though, wasn't it? You know, is that when we first meet Joel, he's a mess. You know, he's absolutely a mess. And you know, you see him beginning to heal himself and beginning to trust the other people in the book. Partly due to the influence of Callie and the other lovely people that come into his life. And, you know, he just knows that he can't go back there again. You know, he can't go back to the situation he was in when his mum died. and not,
No, I just wanted him to heal a little bit more. I think I just wanted him to heal a little bit more, and then I feel like it got amplified. My frustration is when Warren came into the story a little bit.
Yeah, okay.
Because I was just like, I just felt like Warren, like, he loved Joel's mum, like, so much. But it's that saying of, like, if you love something, learn to let it go.
Yeah, if you love it, let it go.
But I'm so not a believer in that. I feel like I'm, like, an advocate for the opposite. Like, if you love something, you should just, like, go after it. Like, don't let it slip through your fingers. I don't know. I just got frustrated at Warren with his advice to Joel about Callie, because I'm just like, I felt like Joel could have done with some more healing and more.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think that Warren wasn't as brave as Joel.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
And and that Warren had spent most of his life running away from his gift, if you like, or his psychic.
I should tell you that Warren, Joel's biological father, also has this prophetic dreaming, in case you guys don't know that already.
I mean, I think I agree. I got frustrated with Warren too. I think he was probably the character that I had most problems with.
But he was important.
Although I actually think he was important for a number of reasons. One, it gave more legitimacy to Joel's gifts, that it came from somewhere rather than it just being a random manifestation in him.
And I think legitimacy to Joel's pain as well.
Yeah, that it had already,
and misidentity.
Exactly, that it had already happened before. And I think that Warren actually did help Joel to come to terms with his gift, which ultimately helped his relationship with Callie, but certainly helped him to get over, to get past Callie, to the end of the book, where I don't think we'll actually talk about that point at the end of the book, in case you guys haven't read it, because we wouldn't want to spoil it. To spoil it.
I know.
For you.
I just kind of think, what a sad life for Joel and Warren, that they're like so terrified to love anybody because they will have to let them go. And I just think, I wanted a happy ending, okay? I was just annoyed because I really liked Joel. Yeah. And I really wanted him just to have something.
But in a way.
Or for him to have a baby and it stops the cycle or something. Like I wanted him to have a kid with Callie, so then it would stop the cycle. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. I just
wanted something of Callie and Joel to hold on to. I wasn't ready for them just to...
But I kind of think that the ending does give you that. I think the ending for Joel is cathartic. Is that he is actually able to say to Callie how much he loves her, and she to him. I think he almost comes to, is at peace with it then.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're probably right.
One of the things that I particularly liked about the book was the flipping of chapters between Joel and Callie's perspective, and we've had that in a couple of our books now, where the two main characters have been the narrators. But I think it worked particularly well in terms of just the progression of Callie and Joel's relationship. How did you feel about it?
I felt like it mimicked exactly what you feel like when you are in a relationship. I feel like because it was flipping between day by day to begin with, and I feel like when you first date somebody, you are just like, I mean, you see it in yourself, or if you haven't met somebody, you see it definitely in your friends. I know I often see it in my best friends when they've gotten with people and you're just like, hello, do we exist anymore? Because it's so
all-consuming.
And I felt like you really quickly got to see their relationship develop, which is exactly what it feels like when you first start dating someone. Your whole world just goes like to that person.
Yeah.
And then when you've been with someone for quite a while, it then starts to like
The rest of the world can come back in
and
again.
all of a sudden you're like, oh, shivers, was that really a month ago since we did that?
Yeah.
Or like, time starts to become really drawn out. And I think Holly did a really good job of doing that in the book, because that to me is exactly what it felt like a relationship was like. So I think that also added to the feeling of that you felt like they were your friends or they could be you. It was quite a natural flip.
I think so too. And I think Holly did an absolutely beautiful job of writing this, because it didn't, I think we said before, it didn't feel cliched. It didn't feel overwritten. Even though it was talking about, quite intense feelings, obviously. So I think it was, really, really well written, so that you just absolutely couldn't put it down and just ripped through it. Yeah.
Do you believe in true love?
Oh, do I believe in true love?
Are Joel and Callie destined to be with each other?
Oh, no, I don't.
You're such a cynic. Are you kidding? I don't read romances. I don't believe in true love. You're sounding like a hard egg. You're not. I promise she's gushy on the inside. She's just English.
Do I think there's only one person for
I didn't say
you?
that. I said you believe in true love.
Yeah, but it's the same kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah, okay.
It's
all right,
for
well,
me,
answer the question.
It's the same kind of thing. I think there is fate to a certain degree. I certainly think that you meet people in your life that you are just incredibly attracted to, and more than just a physical attraction, is that you have the feeling that you were meant to be with this person. But then I do think that can change over a period of time, and that you are capable of meeting somebody else. So depends what's your definition of true love?
Well, I'm not going to answer that question. I'm actually going to say something else. Because I watched a series recently. Yeah. And it was so clever. I really, really liked it. It was based off, which one is it? Based on the fact that scientifically, through data analysis, basically, that each person falls in love with seven different people before they meet the one that they will be with for the rest of their life. And for the relationship to stick, usually it's the seventh relationship. Why
7? What's the magical number?
Well, it's just data, and that's just like what has been proven.
Okay.
But the true love, these different loves don't necessarily have to be, say, with a man or of a person of your attraction. It could be like a love for your parent, a love for your sibling, a love for your best friend, your first kiss, your high school best friend, your first boyfriend, your first relationship. Like, it can be any sort of combination of love, but where you've actually truly loved somebody or something. Yeah. And basically what they're saying, the whole series was about the fact that through each of these different 7 things that you love, it unlocks different parts of your not your mind, but like who you are. It helps shape you as your personality as an identity. Yeah. So then by the time you've got to 7, it's like you have been more developed.
Lucky last, is it?
Yeah. Or like you kind of know, you know what it is you actually are looking for. And so, because you certain, like, I love you fiercely, but I don't love you the way that thank you, but I don't love you the way that I love my boyfriend.
No, of course not.
You know what I mean? But I've learnt so many things from your love that I definitely carry with me, you know? And so it's that, so I don't know, I feel like there is true love, but there's also, I feel like you can have multiple true loves in the sense of where you're at in your mind and your life.
I would agree.
You know what I mean?
Well, I would agree with that. Yeah. I would agree with that.
So for sure you can meet someone and you're like, oh my God, this is meant to be. Yeah. Because you've been through all those different parts of love that you go, okay, I'm ready to now accept this one person or not.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought it was a really clever series. I just thought it was a really interesting way to data analyze or just to look at.
So was it done by psychologists or something? Or
Must
how
have
was
been.
it?
Must have
okay.
been. I can't remember it.
Can't remember.
I'll write it in the caption below what it was.
Yeah,
It was really good.
interesting.
It was really, really interesting
interesting.
to watch it. And I felt like it really, it made sense. And, you know, so maybe for Callie and Joel, maybe their love, oh, look, here we go. Now I wanted them to be together. But maybe for both Callie and Joel, like you say, it was healing for them in that way, and that, you know, Callie took something from Joel and she was able to have it with her future life. And Joel took something from Callie and was able to start to love his dad, you know, that...
And love himself.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I mean, I think that was a big thing with Joel is actually, you know, come to terms with, be able to live with himself. So,
So, thank you, Holly Miller,
So thank you, Holly Miller.
Epic book, and I hope you all enjoyed it.
We loved it. So, next book.
Boo, yes.
Okay.
I have been very excited about this one. And this is the book that actually got really, really, really good, got lots of your votes when we did the pick for July. So we thought we'd have to have it in for August.
Yes.
It is...
So, If I Had Your Face by Frances Cha. So could you tell us about it?
I don't want to tell you too much about this book because I just know you will all really like it. It's a story about 4 different girls and their journeys navigating a very basically they're living in Seoul and Korea, and Botox and all things like plastic surgery, fillers, changing the shape of your jawline is just about as common as getting a haircut.
Yeah.
So it's about the 4 different girls and then navigating a world of it's contemporary, very contemporary Korea too, and it's about basically them navigating this world of insane beauty standards.
And competition.
Yeah, so I feel like if you really enjoy picking a pimple, you'll really enjoy this book. It's got that same sort of like to it. So yes, I hope you enjoy. I really liked it. So everybody, thank you for listening.
And until next time,
happy reading.
We hope you enjoyed watching this episode.
If you did, please leave us a comment below. We'll see you soon.